A blazing sword flashes through the darkness, piercing the shadows with holy light. It dances around a warrior with wings, each move desperate, each breath a prayer. But against the Father's might, there can be only one result. With a final cry, the warrior falls, crashing to the ground in defeat. It is said that Lucifer, the morning star, fell from heaven at such a blinding speed that the world itself trembled. In the blink of an eye, the beautiful archangel went from the highest glory to the deepest shame, cast out of heaven and stripped of all rank. For though his crimes were grave, the sentence was even greater, banishment from the face of God. So where did he fall? Did Lucifer plummet into the fires of hell? Or had Satan already made it his own? What truths are hidden in this mystery? That is what we will find out today. The story of Lucifer's fall is one of the most epic tales in Christian theology, spoken of in hushed tones and solemn verses, yet it is also fraught with questions. Many believers have wrestled with this mystery, seeking to understand why such a powerful being would be punished so severely. And some have suggested that the fiery pits of torment known as hell were not the intended destination of the fallen angel. Rather, they were the unintended consequence of his rebellion. To fully explore this intriguing possibility, we must first delve into the nature of hell itself. In Christian tradition, hell was not created alongside heaven as a companion realm, but rather came into existence as a consequence of humanity's disobedience. When Adam and Eve partook of the forbidden fruit, sin entered the world, setting in motion the need for judgment. Thus, hell was not an eternal fixture of the divine plan, but a temporary measure to deal with the consequences of humanity's fall. But here's the question. If hell was meant as a place of confinement for those who reject God, why was it necessary to hurl Lucifer into its fiery depths? After all, he was a heavenly being who existed before the creation of humans. In the book of Isaiah, chapter 14, we see a glimpse of this mystery. The passage speaks of a day when Lucifer, son of the morning, shall no more be called the beautiful one, but rather a shriveled, thrown-away thing. The context seems to indicate that Lucifer's fall was not merely a physical descent, but a spiritual and a social one, a casting out from the divine presence. In fact, many scholars believe that Lucifer's fall took place near the ancient Mesopotamian city of Erech, where he became the god of the underworld. Some suggest that his fall was not a plunge into the fires of hell, but a landing in the kingdom of Erech, twisting its power and grandeur into his own twisted dominion. However, this interpretation raises another question. If Lucifer's fall involved a physical descent, how could he have survived unscathed? We know that Lucifer, as an angel, was not bound by the limitations of a human body. Angels can exist in multiple realms simultaneously, appearing and disappearing at will. Thus, it is possible that Lucifer did not literally fall, but simply chose to descend. Some texts suggest that Lucifer, upon leaving heaven, took his throne with him, setting up his court somewhere in the farthest reaches of the earth. There, he established a kingdom that was a mirror image of heaven, filled with false promises of peace and glory. This raises another fascinating point. If Lucifer's fall was more of a relocation than a plunge, why did he choose to leave heaven? The answer may lie in understanding the true nature of Lucifer himself. Before his fall, Lucifer was known as the light-bearer, a messenger of God. He was entrusted with delivering messages between the divine and humanity, serving as a conduit of communication and understanding. His fall, therefore, could be seen as a rejection of his role as a mere messenger. In Isaiah chapter 14, verse 12, Lucifer proclaims, "How am I fallen, O evening star, son of the morning, cut down to the ground, who once in his heights was I cast out." Here Lucifer seems to lament his fall, yet there is an undertone of defiance in his words. As one of the highest-ranking angels, Lucifer enjoyed unimaginable power and prestige. To be cast out of heaven, stripped of rank and banished from the divine presence, was a humiliation of the utmost magnitude. It is not hard to imagine that his pride, once so dazzling, turned to smoldering resentment, fueling a desire for revenge. Thus, the fall may have been Lucifer's way of escaping a fate worse than death, remaining in heaven as a mere messenger. His fall, though painful and humiliating, allowed him to retain his power and status, albeit in a different form. The traditional view holds that Lucifer fell into the very hell he now rules. This idea finds support in the Book of Revelation, where the angel of the bottomless pit is depicted as having a key to the abyss and chains with which to bind the beast. This imagery suggests that the angel has dominion over the abyss and uses these symbols of control to maintain order within the fiery depths. However, this interpretation raises another critical question. If hell was initially created as a holding place for the wicked, why was Lucifer given such authority over it? One compelling theory suggests that hell, in its early stages, was not a place of punishment, but rather a state of being. Those who rejected God found themselves drawn to this realm, not because of any malevolence, but due to their own free will. In other words, hell was not a destination, but a condition. Those who rejected God's love and embraced darkness were consumed by it, becoming part of the infernal realm themselves. Lucifer, upon his fall, did not rule over a pre-existing hell, but became its ruler by shaping it according to his own nature. This raises a profound question about the nature of good and evil. Are they absolute and unchanging, or do they shift and evolve with the circumstances? Perhaps Lucifer's fall was not a descent into eternal damnation, but a journey into a realm of his own making. He sought to create a world that mirrored the glory of heaven, but twisted and corrupted by his own pride. In this view, hell was not a prison set up by God, but a kingdom built by Lucifer himself, a monument to his misguided ambition. This interpretation challenges us to reconsider our notions of right and wrong, suggesting that evil may not always be black and white, but can take on many shades of gray. When we think of Lucifer's fall, it is tempting to picture him plunging into a fiery abyss, consumed by the flames of divine retribution. However, another compelling theory offers a different perspective on this pivotal event. Some theologians propose that Lucifer did not fall into a literal hell, but into a state of separation from God. This separation, they argue, caused Lucifer to experience the deepest form of torment, the absence of divine love and connection. In this view, hell is not a physical place, but a spiritual one, a state of being far from God's presence. Lucifer's fall, therefore, marked his entrance into this state of separation, a punishment more profound and agonizing than any physical confinement. Some biblical passages seem to support this interpretation. In Matthew 23, verse 38, Jesus is recorded as saying, "O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, the one who kills the prophets and stones those who are sent to her. How often I wanted to gather your children together as a hen gathers her chicks under her wings, but you were not willing." Here, the people of Jerusalem are described as being outside the protection of God's love, cut off from the divine presence like a hen's rejected chicks. In this context, hell is not a place, but a state of being, a condition of those who reject God's mercy and turn away from his love. The story of Lucifer's fall is one of the most enigmatic narratives in religious history. While tradition holds that he fell into the fires of hell, a closer examination of certain texts reveals intriguing possibilities. Lucifer may not have plunged into a realm of eternal torment, but instead become its ruler by shaping it according to his own nature. Alternatively, his fall may have been a descent into separation from God, a spiritual state of torment deeper than any physical confinement. These series challenge our conventional understanding of divine justice, suggesting that the concept of hell may be more complex than we traditionally conceive. Furthermore, they raise profound questions about free will and the nature of evil. If hell was not a predetermined punishment, but a state brought about by one's own choices, then the responsibility for its creation lies ultimately with those who choose to reject God's love. As we ponder these questions, we are challenged to examine our own hearts and the choices we make every day. Are we drawn toward the light of divine love, or the alluring but deceptive darkness that promises peace and glory? And if Lucifer's fall serves as a warning and a cautionary tale, may it remind us of the importance of remaining steadfast in our faith and resisting the temptations that lead to spiritual ruin? What do you think of Lucifer's fall? Does it sound like a plunge into the fires of hell, or a descent into something much deeper? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Your insights might shed new light on this age-old mystery. Also, don't forget to share this video with friends and family. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the depths of theological mysteries.